Welcome back to Passing the Torch, where some of the current Celtics are getting their chance to speak with some Celtic legends.
And this next pair is the interesting match. They both love to throw their bodies on the floor and do whatever it takes to win. But there's much more to what drives Dave Cowens and Grant Williams. So here's Dave and Grant.
Hey, thanks for sitting down with me, Dave.
Hey, my pleasure. Good to meet you.
Great to meet you as well. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions, especially because, as a rookie here, I know you had a big role in your time here with the Celtics, and I know it's been a couple years, not many years, but I was wondering for first, why did you pick your number, and is there a story behind that? Because I know why I picked mine.
Well, I wore number 13 when I was at Florida State. So when I got up here, the big rivalry was Russell and Chamberlain.
Right.
Chamberlain wore number 13, and Red said, ain't no Celtic gonna wear number 13. I said, well, just close them in then, make it an 18. So then the 18 had already been used by Luskatoff and Branham, and they had retired Lusky's name, but not his number. So I got to use the 18 jersey.
All right, okay.
Yeah. How about you?
The reason why I chose 12 is because I've always been a favor of number 2. Like my entire life, my entire career, I was either second in something, whether it was second in rankings and second in almost on the roster sheet because my last name was Williams. It was always second to something. So I love the number 2, but when I looked up, I realized who number 2 was. So I realized I had no chance of getting that number in my entire career here in Boston because Red is not able to give me that one. I'm not even going to ask for it at all. So I'm with 12. I went with 12 because it still has my 2, and then hopefully that one day it'll end up being from 2 to 1.
I'm surprised that wasn't a retired number.
I know, right?
See, you don't have many left.
And I also love low numbers. So I actually had to talk to Carson because I was like, if I can't do 2, I'll go 4 because it's multiplied by 2. Next thing you know, Carson wanted to be number 4, and then Kemba took 8. So I was like, okay, just keep going up.
I thought somebody wore 12, but I guess not.
It's actually the most worn jersey in the history of the Celtics.
Is it really?
Dominique Wilkins wore it.
Oh, okay.
The most recent was Terry Rozier, but like over the years, it's been the most worn number. What's the most difficult part of winning championships for you when you look back on it? What was the most journey?
Personally, I don't know about you, but when I go into a ball game, I don't only think about winning. I only think about doing my job.
Right.
Like, if I do a decent job, everybody else does, and the wins take care of themselves. So, to win a championship, yeah, you'd like it, but it's so far down the line. And like you, I had never been a champion in high school or college. So the first time I could do this was in '74 when we beat the Bucks.
Right.
It was a long time coming, but it was worth the wait.
I want it so badly, but you got to enjoy the process. That's what
I think that's the whole. It's really all about the work. I hope you don't foul out of as many games as I did. I fouled out like 100 games.
Hey, as hard as we both have to play, I understand why.
16 in my rookie year. The next year wasn't as many because I think the referees got used to seeing me do what I was doing.
I was about to say, us being, quote, undersized guys. Like we have to be physical, we have to be that tough guy.
But you got to like playing like that.
Exactly.
That's like the fun part of it.
Yes, I came close the other night. I had 5, and I was just like, oh dear, here we go. Started the process.
Hey, I always thought, I was starting, so if I fouled out, I was being a good teammate. Let my buddy go in.
Help somebody else
give him some minutes.
I like that. I'll use that one first time it happens to me.
Yeah, that's right.
What does it mean to be a Celtic to you?
Well, it was a game changer for me, being a guy, kind of a late bloomer, and then getting a chance to come up here in a place where, you come in here and look up at banners. And it was good to be drafted by a team that knew how to win. They knew they had Havlicek, they had JoJo and Chaney and Nelson. They had guys that had been to championships. And so you walk into a locker room with men, and it's like, okay, you just fit in, and you sort of learn the ropes as you go along. Those guys were also great to me, because they recognized that I could play and I could help them win.
That's the honest truth. I feel the same way when it comes to that because you look, for me, being a young gun coming into this, getting drafted this year, you should know, you've heard the history, and then you get to be in this position where you're surrounded by not only champions, but you're surrounded by people who have been there, done the hard work, and put all the time and effort in. That what you aspire to be. So for me, being a guy who's always had to really work for everything he's gotten, it kind of made me feel at home and feel comfortable, not only to be able to be a part of a culture that not only kicks butt but also gives back.
And you're a part of creating a culture too. It's not all just, you got to be thankful for it. You're always in there, you're pitching in saying you're challenging them, you're busting them when you can, and that's what they expect. It makes everybody get a little bit better.
That's right.
Along the way. So yeah, it's nice to be able to say you play for the Boston Celtics. It's a distinction. And I hope you take advantage, and I'm sure you will, of getting out in the community on your own, meeting some people, because that was one of the best things that I did. Met a lot of great people,
You're in a position to not only to
Yeah,
help people, but
help a
also to
little
learn a lot more than you could have seen.
Yeah, you
anywhere
help
else.
them and they help you,
Right.
Makes it all good. Well,
thank you.
Nice to talk to you, man.
Great to talk to you as well.
Wish you a lot of luck. Hope you're around for a long time.
Really appreciate you.
Rock and roll.
We're going to see you soon. Let's do it.
Coming up next, separated by 64 years, but forever linked as prolific young Celtic scorers, our own Tommy Heinsohn sits down with Jason Tatum. Passing the torch continues after a quick break.